Who am I? I'm Daniel, and I'm from Detroit. I guess Daniel from Detroit. And I was born into a family of three boys. My mom was or is Pauline Grissom, and dad is David. Now, they had three boys. David is the older. I'm Daniel, and Paul is the younger one. So David, Daniel, and Paul, go figure. Now, the older brother was David Jr., just for clarity. But this story that I want to share with you is really more about mom than it is anything else. Now, my mom and dad were married. They got a divorce when I was about 13, a lot of drama at the crib. And so, I was sad to see them get divorced on one side of the coin, but on the other side of the coin, I was okay with it because there were a lot of lights flashing. Green says go, yellow says slow, and red says no, no, no. And so there was a lot of color switching going on at the crib growing up. And so when they got their divorce, I thought, okay, well, the good news is lights will be green. But you know what? There was some yellow and some red moments. I can think about a time where I could hear my mother crying in the other room. And, I actually have to tell this part of the story. You can hear the tingle in my voice. So as a son, I wanted to help and support my mom. I was probably 12, 13 years old at the time. And so I just did what I thought I could do to be helpful. And I would go into her room and, sleep on the floor in her room. And that actually would cause her to stop crying. And then she would get up early, I would notice. And then so we started to get up together and go play tennis. And so I kind of felt like that was the beginning of a different kind of relationship with my mom, where we were like buddies, like study buddies kind of thing. And then we went on and, we did a newspaper route together. It was the New York Times newspaper route. And, I'd be driving and then she'd be in the car on the passenger side and she'd run it to the door. We would reverse the roles, listen to Stevie Wonder. All I do is think about you. I can remember that old album, Hotter Than July. Y'all remember that? And I give you all this background just to let you know that, my mom was my heart. And so if I'm going to tell my foundational story, I got to go back to mama, right? Dr. Pauline West Grissom. I'm Daniel West Grissom. Now, I got a little PhD, but it's honorary, and it pretty much was earned from the School of Hard Knocks. The University of Adversity is where I got my degree from. She got a real one from the University of Michigan, and I just say that just because we were raised to get a good education, love everybody, love God, treat people right. But when it comes to choosing a life mate, mom used to say, hey, if she can't use my comb, don't bring her home. And I mention that just because it's a life principle that I think is worth sharing. I just say that because, again, love everybody, love diversity, but marry mama was pretty much was the message. And so I went on and married mama, so to speak. Tasia is her name, and we've been married for 20 years. And my mom has passed away, though she died of an aneurysm in 1999. I'll tell that story maybe at another time. I probably couldn't make it through the story. But hey, I said, Mom, you brought me in. I want to be there when you go out. I'm going to help take you out, so to speak. So it was me and my mom at a senior citizen, kind of a rehab hospice place. My two brothers were on an airplane, and it was just me. Again, I'll tell you more of that story maybe at another time because I couldn't make it through the story. But the point here is, hey, everything rises and falls on leadership. Would you agree? The leader is the completer. Would you agree? And women, the wisdom of a woman, the mission of a mom. And I'm here to just let you know I'm living proof of all those truths. So, hey, Daniel from Detroit, and this is the beginning of my story.